That's where.
No, he's calling in though. He's gonna check. And Gayla's on the phone as well.
Forgot that the first track.
Yeah, but.
Indoor.
Go back.
That was fun. That's so short, it's gonna come back. You all very.
I mean, it was great before.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, they don't want to.
The ring is gonna go.
Well, no, they may be flat.
Oh,
What's the right way to explain it?
What is
Last night,
That's gonna slow down for you.
Well, it seems like forever since. It has. Yeah. I almost forgot how to do my door.
Awesome.
Hold on.
It's gonna be a long time. Maybe just that extra.
Yeah.
I was so not around very long. Water bin. That's where it's been. I mean, I asked her to do what, and told me, that said he wouldn't move around. Are you serious?
Yes. And one thing I didn't know you were talking about clearly.
They're gonna have to start hauling more water to patrol cars. All righty, let's call this meeting to order. Let's welcome everybody for attending tonight. First thing tonight is a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approve agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Jennifer? Yes. Jake?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Josh is on the phone.
Oh, Josh? Can you hear us?
Yeah, he's muted. It looks like. I told him to mute.
You see him?
All righty, approved first reading resolution approving bid packets and requesting bids for the north/west sidewalk project.
Motion to approve resolution approving bid packets for the western bids for the north and west side of the project.
We'll need to open. public
Oh, is
hearing
this a
first.
public hearing?
Yes.
Public hearing. Oh, it was a motion to open public hearing.
Second. Jake?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Josh? Jennifer? Yes.
All right, any public comments tonight? Anybody call the office? Okay.
Move to close the public hearing.
Second.
Earl?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Josh?
All righty. Approve first reading of resolution approving bid packets and requesting bids for the north/west sidewalk project.
Motion to approve first reading resolution.
Second.
Jennifer? Yes. Don?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Any desire to waive the second or third?
Move to waive the second and third reading of resolution approving bid packet and requesting bids for the northwest sidewalk project. Second.
Don?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Jake?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Zach?
Things are going good out at the PD. We're about a month into our new schedule here, and all the guys are loving it. They're getting every other weekend off. So helping them a lot. Pretty busy with investigations right now. Then one other note, the Cops, Kids and Kindness deal that we got going on is working out really well. Actually had other departments reaching out and kind of wanting to know how that works and stuff. So that's been kind of neat how that's going.
Thank you. Jeff?
As far as the fire department, nothing really new to report there. Our fundraiser, we did at taco salad was on a Friday for lunch. We sold about 200 plus tacos, raised about $2,200 for the friends of the fire department. On the code side, just some reminders. We remind people it's about time to start renewing their pool permits so I can get their certificates made. People also need to be reminded that they need, with warmer weather, home projects, they may need to secure building permits, excavation permits, utility locates. If they're unsure, they just need to contact City Hall so we make sure we do it right. Folks need to be aware all vehicles, including boats with motors, need to be stored in appropriate driveways, storage area, either gravel or concrete. State rules don't allow them to park them in the yards. A couple people have received letters and working on a couple more.
Isn't it true if they won't put gravel down, they have to have a building permit?
Depends on where.
What's that?
Depends on where. If it's a new area, they would need to. If it's something existing and they're not gonna alter it, technically they don't if they're not
I
digging.
just put a bunch of gravel down in the middle of my yard. I can park my truck there.
No,
Yeah.
What's that?
There wasn't a gravel.
New area.
Depends on the zoning.
New area on grass, if
Depends on the zoning, Don. If it's in commercial, it has to be pavement or concrete. It cannot be gravel.
So they.
I'll say that again.
If you're in a commercial zone, you have to do pavement or concrete. You can't do gravel.
But I'm more concerned about residential. We're looking like the south side of the state of Arkansas.
So we're gonna be careful about saying anywhere. So take it to heart.
well, surely the building permit wouldn't get approved. In that,
That's the point of my question.
yeah.
That's why they need to call so that we can talk with them and see where they're going.
Parking your cars on your grass,
Not a-
stop it.
And I'm asking for your, I want to say, thoughts about this north side trailer park. I know there's trailers going in there, but as a fire chief and EMS, I've been in some of those already in the past. And trailer houses are inherently dangerous anyway from a fire perspective. And I guess my personal thought is I feel like they need to be treated. They need to be inspected and have an occupancy certificate issued before people move in.
Are they allowed to have smoke detectors, Jeff? No, smoke detectors, smoke alarms.
They have to have it.
They have to have it.
Well, they should have them. If they own them, we just allow them to put the trailers in there. We don't know if they're in there or not. If they're rentals, yeah, they have to be, but I'm asking what your thoughts are, because my perspective, they should be treated like the new houses we put in on Neville. We issued occupancy certificates, inspected them, issued the certificate, and turned them on their way. They're fine. I just want to make sure nobody doesn't get hurt. If anybody hurt, I don't want any of my firemen hurt.
You're right. What are you suggesting that we do?
Should be the same across the board, whether it's trailer,
As
home.
if it's a housing unit, dwelling unit, I think we should be pretty much consistent. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, right, yes. Keep it the same across the board. But I wanted to hear what your thoughts were.
Just for residency, and it's a new structure, so to speak. In this case, a trailer being brought in, it should be inspected.
I don't want to make it hard on the guy. I just want to make it safe.
Yep.
But, you know, we're not stopping them from bringing trailers in. We just want them.
So will that need a resolution or,
We'll have to do something to the next meeting.
We'll put it in the.
okay, thanks, guys. Thank you. That's all I got.
Jennifer?
Mutual Center, a little bit of update for them. We had 163 new memberships for renewals since January 1st. There were letters sent out for their banner donations to hang up in the gym. That's part of their revenue source that they do each year. And the check-in system is live, and Taylor has been entering people into the system as they come in and enter the Mutual Center. It's not live out on the front desk yet because she needs to get all of them entered, and then she'll enter the people in. So I would say in the next couple months it'll be live, and people will be able to type in their number or check in, check out. It asks them if they want to auto renew, so they can actually just put in their profile their credit card, and it will auto renew for them each whatever they decide, if they do a year or month or whatever. So that's about complete now.
Was there a cost to have that installed with that donate?
Kyle Miller, I believe, is who is working on it, and I have not seen a cost yet. So
Okay. Thank you.
good on Mutual Center.
Yep.
Okay. For Main Street, we went to the Main Street Iowa Conference last week and talked a whole bunch about transformation strategies. And I talked a little bit with Tommy Joe and Rusty about some of the items that we're going to try to do going forward. There'll probably be more, I would say, conversations with Tommy Joe, just so that we can kind of make sure that what we're working on also aligns with what the city's working on as far as our projects in the downtown and stuff like that. Because we need to have those ironed out before Main Street America comes in 2025. We have a Main Street Iowa visit at the end of this month in a couple of weeks, which we do every year. Nothing new and exciting about that. So yeah, our HVAC system is complete, and then we have 2 seminars coming up the first part of April on Canva that are already full. So our seminars this year have been a pretty big hit for most of the businesses.
Thank you. Anybody here for DCDC? Right, moving on, consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer? Earl?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Discussion decide forgiving water/sewer charges for 704 West Walnut. Go ahead, sir.
I moved out of my house last October. I'm trying to sell it. I'm renting another place in town here, so I'm paying utilities on 2 places. I've been a resident of Bloomfield for 18 years. After that cold spell, I went to check on my other house when my furnace had quit. Busted water lines in 8 places. City Hall called me when they read the meter to let me know, and I'd already shut off the water in my house. The way the house is set up, none of that went down the sewer. That was the bathroom out in what used to be the swimming pool room. And the walls are laid with exit drains around in the face of the swimming pool. I'd like to ask for forgiveness on the sewer part of that. Possibly a rate in the water bill too. But at least the sewer part, because none of it went down the sewer. It leaked out 161,000 gallons of water. Yeah, it wasn't a good day.
So do you still live in Bloomfield?
Yes, I still live. in
This house is for sale, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
my house is.
And it's the West Walnut house?
Yes. I run for 18 years that everybody in Bloomfield knows it is greater than the old house.
Yeah.
What's the normal fee for the sewer?
The base fee is $50.
$50.
Sets it into the water,
Water's 30.
water's 30.
I'll make a motion that we minus the fee, that we forgive the sewer fees on this.
Second. So you do the whole sewer bill or the fines?
Other than
I would just
50.
go up to the 50 is what you're saying.
Correct.
Anything above 50,
Okay. I just wanted to clarify.
just the sewer.
I don't think in the past we've forgiven the water
No,
portion of it.
we're buying the water.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
And so I apologize. I wish I could, but it's just,
That just lessens the hurt, okay?
I'll second it.
And forgive the sewer.
I think we already had a second.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jen seconded it.
Don't need 2 then.
Don?
Yes.
Josh?
Yeah. Yes.
Jennifer.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike, for attending tonight. Appreciate it. All righty, next up is discuss and decide on invoice to Tom Bridgman in the amount of $3,651.
Tom, yes, I had an unfortunate accident with one of the light poles. I know you guys replaced up on the east side and are planning on doing the north side. So I was just seeing what you guys want to do. If you guys, I have priced them. I can get a pole for $800 and that's not counting the globe and stuff. And I know on the pole that hit the ground, that the head and stuff is still good on it. So I have to have a pole on the globe, so shipping and everything. I could probably get one for like $1,200. Identical, same, identical.
Yeah. Well,
That's
there's
what
some,
we're gonna replace.
yeah, it will. It wasn't in the original plan, but then it got added to just do that pole right there on that corner on that northwest corner. We won't do the other four down towards CMTL, but that one will get replaced.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It was already scheduled to get replaced.
No.
And
Oh, it was.
No, it was not.
Wasn't scheduled at that point, no.
No, but it is now. We put it in the bid project. Now that we know that it was broke, we needed to add it.
Was it scheduled to be replaced before it was broken?
Those four down that road we weren't doing. But I do think we need to check to see where we can get them for $1,200 if that's all they are, because this cost on the invoice was the pole itself, the place that we're buying them from, 3E out of Atumwa, it's $3,000.
What did we do with the poles that we took down from the east and south?
Rusty?
Those went to the county, so they would have replacements for their square, for the ones on the lawn, because,
Well, we have two.
I thought that was true. I talked
so the
to,
ones on the west and the north will keep for our replacements down, CMTL, down Jefferson.
I talked with one of the supervisors and he assured me that if we wanted to reclaim one of the poles that we gave to them, there'd be no problem with it. We want to put it on that corner temporarily. I don't know if it's the right style to put it back on the corner permanently. Don't know what it looks like compared to the new ones, but that offer is on the table.
Is the pole that's damaged, is it still up?
No.
So it's okay.
It's on the case of the building.
What individual pole on the new ones, what was the cost on each one of those?
I think the invoice is what?
3,000.
Alicia, it should be in your package.
360, whatever this amount is, at
Yeah, okay.
3651.
That's just the pole?
That's the pole and the light. That's everything.
So what was there? Does it match the ones that the supervisors have?
No, the ones we gave the supervisor was our old ones. The old stuff, they don't.
No, I don't mean match this new one. I mean, what was broken?
That's the one that Tom had. It's a beautiful.
It was an old, one of the old style.
Okay.
So that's
So
what,
if you
that's
put,
what we have.
if you put that back up, it's the same as the one that
It's
acts.
still gonna
It
get,
would look the same.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's old.
Okay. Okay.
So
So that,
it would match the ones that go west towards Chemtel. If you put one back up.
Yeah, for now, but we changed the plan for what we're doing there.
Do we change the plan because it got broke or because?
Yes.
Or was it already in the plan?
No, it was not in the plan originally. And then when it got broke, we asked Matt from French Reniker to add it to the bid because it got broke. So we were like, well, we
Can we
need to
take it off
replace
the
it.
bid and put the old one back
The
on?
last time we had one broke, the bid come back to get one of those old poles, a new one. At that point, we had no spares. And
Yeah.
it was $10,000 to put it up
No,
that style.
if we're getting this from the county, like Don says, can we take that back off of the do bid
Do a change order.
and then put one of the older ones back on at a lower cost than this 3651?
Where was the other pole that got hit that
It was
you guys charged?
two poles down on the north side.
Okay.
Yeah, second.
We weren't planning on replacing it to begin with, but now we
so
are.
you're
because
gonna,
it got
you're gonna,
damaged.
you're gonna have all new poles around the square and 4 old ones down.
Right, and we weren't planning on changing it.
I know, but
until-
now's the time to
No,
do
but
it.
now's,
Now's the time to do it. I just think
Down that road.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. I just-
Because
I
the
mean-
sidewalk is.
Are you saying to do
One
that?
at a time,
you
one at a
not
time.
charge him for
New pole.
3,600 or?
would you pay a grand?
Well, they're paying the price of-
No, I'm not-
Excuse me, let's just have one conversation.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I had a motion similar to that. I was gonna ask him would he be willing to pay our guys' cost, what that time would be to put up the pole? We may not put up the pole, but I kind of, go ahead.
Yeah, so I just asked Tom, he's willing to pay $1,000 towards a pole that will match the ones we're putting up. And if he's agreed to that, I could agree with that.
To put it up, yeah.
Tony has a question.
I just wondered, were the poles given to the county or were we sold to the county?
They were just given to the county.
So they had no value at the time that we gave them to the county.
We wasn't planning, the county would need them to, put up on the square for their.
I just wondered
No
if we
value
were
to
that
us.
cheap
No
to give
value
to the
to us.
county. Why do we want to charge Tom? If we're going back to an old pole. And the county's going to give one back for free.
Are we really
I think-
gonna put the pole back up?
I'd rather have a new one. I mean, once it got broke, that's
Well,
what we should.
But I mean, are we
I
gonna put,
think-
like, if we went to the county tomorrow and said we'd like one pole back, are the guys gonna put it up now and wait till the deal, or are we just gonna leave it as it is right now and put the new one up when we do the work later this summer?
It'd be silly to go get it, we ain't gonna put it up. I mean, if we go get it, I'd say put it up.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
my opinion is, if we go get the pole from the county, we need to install it, lower the change order, do a change order to lower the project that's coming, so that we leave those four the way that they match. The reason why we build them in the first place was we had another person who hit a pole, if you recall, a while back. And we billed them for the pole that they hit, so to remain consistent, that's why we build.
Yeah, I'm not saying to not charge you.
Yeah.
I'm just,
Well, and I was just trying to answer the question was, why would we bill them? Just to remain consistent. Because the other person that hit the pole,
Question on that, does the base have to be changed? The concrete gonna have to be dug up for the new style pole? I know they're not the same.
I don't believe you can, I think you broke it off the base, so we'll have to put a new base in for that.
Yeah, I broke off the base, just like you cut it with a jigsaw almost. So that metal is weird metal.
We'll
It's
have
like
to replace the base, and then if we put a new pole up, a new style pole, we'll have to have another new base. But it won't be the same.
So did I misunderstand what he said? You're willing to spend $1,000 for a new pole?
Well, for their time and material to put one back, whatever it's gonna take. Well, I was talking not the base, but the concrete where it's mounted. The base is attached to the poles.
Right.
So, I mean, you gotta pull all that middle base off, but I don't think the footprint's the same. I've looked at some of the new poles and they're not the same bolt pattern or anything.
Right.
So it'd have to be dug up and new concrete there for that pole too.
We're gonna have to dig that up anyhow when we put the project in, aren't we?
if we put the new pole in,
That isn't part of the sidewalk stuff. So they weren't going to.
Yeah,
They
that's-
weren't
That's
originally
already
going to.
new sidewalk over on.
that's why, yeah, it's already new sidewalk, which is why it wasn't in the project in the first place. So instead of, rather than tearing out a new sidewalk that was already there, it was gonna stay down the west side of that road. But like I said, if we're either the 1,000 goes toward whatever project you guys decide to do, whether you put it in or not, or if we put the old pole back in, we would use the 1,000 to go towards the base or whatever needs to happen to get the old pole back in. And then the labor, of course.
What would we have to do to be consistent with the other one that you mentioned that was broken by someone?
Well, their insurance company paid for their bill, which was around $10,000, so, for their damage, but their damage was more than what this had caused. I think if we can keep the skid loaders and the trucks and the snow removal to snow blowers and shovels, we can probably help eliminate that as well from accidents happening.
If I, if I may do something, lightly to consider on those poles as well. This happened during the snowstorm we had here in town. There was multiple times just sitting there after the accident with, removing snow and the pole falling over, that even while snow blowing and shoveling the snow, I shoveled it every morning for them before I went to work. Multiple times, you could see many poles around the square, and in town, and specifically that corner being hit and braided by snow. The snow being 5-6 foot tall, especially in corners where they're pushing all the snow and other people hitting them and the base of that pole. If you look at it, it is not the most structurally sound. I work with metal every day, at work, and it was pretty corroded. You could tell mean, I don't think fully it was, you know, not 100% on if Tom hit it or not. I mean, based on all of it, I think that would be one thing to consider. Is this an old pole? There was a lot of snow being put there, especially by, you know, personal plow trucks, city plow trucks, things like that.
I'll ask for clarification on something. Seems to me as it currently stands, that we now have, according to this, for the south and east side, different snow removal procedures and requirements than we do on the west and north side. Is that true?
The east, the south
South and
side,
east, now that we have new sidewalks there, go by this. The north and west side don't go by that.
yet. So two things. The east side does not go by that because they don't have pavers. And that wasn't part of the grant. Your south side, your north and your west will all go by that. We do have signed maintenance agreements from everybody on both the sides, even though the grant hasn't started. We do have those in place. But the area of where Tom's store is located, it won't have pavers. He won't need to abide by that. Even if we put the pole in, a new pole in right there, he won't have to abide by that maintenance agreement because there's no pavers right there. But we do have that maintenance agreement already signed for everybody on the north and the west side as well.
So the sides with pavers are going to have these
Mhm.
requirements,
Right.
and the sides without pavers have a different set of requirements.
And
Or
everybody,
or-
right, and the ordinance would
We may want to,
back
we
them
may
up.
want to join those and then just one set of rules when we get the north and west side in. For cleaning snow, that can be a sticky wicket we don't need.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are more than welcome to review the ordinance. That's required based on the grant.
Correct.
But yes, you can always look at the ordinance and make the ordinance match that if you'd like.
I figure out what Earl was.
Earl, did you make a motion? Was that a motion? If so, would you just re-clarify that motion?
What we discussed was Tom's willing to pay $1,000 towards the cost of a new pole that will match what's going on the north and the west side. And we probably, as far as I'm concerned, we don't need to replace it till that project's done.
That's what I would think.
So that's my motion.
Okay, I have a question. How long would it take to put an old pole back up on that base?
Are you gonna dig out the cement base or new cement base? there?
No,
No, old pole.
20
Old
minutes.
pole.
But the old bit broke off the base of the old.
No, but you said we have some just like that.
The base is not.
If it will,
The
then
base
bump off that cement base.
The base is
I don't,
not.
They did on the other side.
I'm gonna, okay, so you understand my question?
Yep.
So how many hours would it take?
On the other one, on the other bill,
Why don't you let them go?
on the
Why don't
other,
we just work on the
on the
motion?
other bill, on the $10,000 bill, Dawn, it was put down as 3 hours. 3 hours with two trucks and a truck and two men.
Okay, what,
I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
Jennifer? The motion was to leave it until the,
Correct.
okay, yes.
Josh,
Yes.
Yes.
John,
so we're not going to replace that pole under the current motion?
the motion is to replace it when the rest of the, them are changed.
Yes.
Earl,
Yes,
Award hope, thank you, Tom,
thanks, Tom.
for coming tonight. Explaining
There
everything.
is one other comment I'd make. I went and looked at that. That's a little bit dangerous the way it sits right now because all we have is a cone on there and some live wire with wire nuts on them. I assume those are live wires. If we're gonna leave that like that, we need to make darn sure that nobody can go in there and get electrocuted by messing with those wires.
Make that happen.
Okay, thanks.
That's my code.
Pardon me?
That's my code. I put it on there that night.
Oh,
Nobody can fall in it.
Award hotel motel fund.
Okay, so in your packets, you should have a spreadsheet we sent out a couple weeks ago now, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, all of the packets for you guys to review, and hopefully you came with some suggestions. But in your packet, there should be a chart that says how much for each category: tourism, economic development, and recreation, and how much each individual requester is asking for and what the purpose is. I wanted to just kind of review the policy that we have in place that states that tourism disbursements are intended to encourage the development, continuation, and promotion of the projects and events. This category is for nonprofit organizations only. Economic is open to organizations in Bloomfield that host events, develop projects, maintain sites, or conduct educational efforts. It's available to any local business within Bloomfield. And then recreation is for the city council to determine what funding you're gonna do on both our own, if you wanna save any for any of our recreation, or if you want to delegate that out. The categories themselves for recreation, you have to give 50% and 25% of whatever you're going to disperse out of the 50,000 to tourism and economic development. And then just keep in mind that the hotel motel tax is generated based on what events we have in town that bring people into town and are staying at our hotels. So that's why we get the money that we get. And then you guys get the opportunity to decide if you want to award all of it, some of it, etc. But whatever amount, there is 50,000 available, and I kind of broke that up for you guys under the amount granted. So if you elect to give the full 50,000, you need to do 25,000 for recreation and 12,500 for economic development and tourism. Yeah, and I did bring all the applications if you didn't bring them or have questions on them in case you want to review them again.
All righty. Start with tourism. You got 12,500 that you can give out. You don't have to give it all out.
Just a question. Dan, are you a nonprofit?
I don't know what I am. I don't pay property tax on the building. I sure as hell don't make any money at it. I don't charge any kind of, admission, or I'll get a donation of stuff. People bring me stuff.
Right.
501c3, I'm not. I didn't see the need to it for all these years, but that's just I am what I am, I guess.
Right.
But I don't, there's some taxation ruling of some kind. Lois Peckethorne can tell you what it is, but I'm under some kind of educational something. So I don't pay property tax.
Which you can be a nonprofit without a 501c3.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
It wasn't real clear. Cause I was gonna
Right.
say, if he's not, then I would suggest that we move him down to economic development or something to that effect.
Right.
That you support what you're doing. I mean,
I think he's close enough.
that's what I'm saying. I just want to clarify. I wasn't sure. I know I've worked with you.
So
before.
we've also clarified for the council, the historical asked for 8, and we've already gave them 4 out of another fund, right?
Correct.
So their amount is really 4 over here.
Right.
Okay.
I'm going to make a motion regarding the tourism section of this money only, and I think we should award it in three different motions, perhaps might be easier to keep track of.
Please.
Here's my motion. Anybody got a question on that? Here's my motion. We give the first item put off under tourism, the amount they requested, $1135. We give Davis County Tourism, they asked for $46.51. We give them $33.65. And we give Bloomfield Main Street, they asked for 4, give them 4. And Historical Society asked for 8, we give them 4 because we've already given them 4, and I think that brings us to 12.5. That's my motion on the tourism portion. So it's 1135, 3365, 4,000 and 4,000. I believe that totals 12,500.
Yeah.
And then we have, okay, a motion on the floor.
Well, we just need one motion for all of it.
I want to do it in 3 motions. It's easier to keep track of. Why can't we do it in 3 motions?
We can, people just don't really know. It's not necessary, so that we.
I know it's not necessary, but it
No, I said
clarifies it.
fine. We'll do it. That's not
I
a
get
problem.
complaints from the public that our motions are not easy to understand. And
It's quite ironic because I see about 3 people here every time. So last time I
anyhow,
checked,
that's my
Karen's
motion.
not putting all motions and everything in the paper. So I think that's a crop, to be honest, to be nice. So we're going with one motion on tourism. I have this on the floor. Does anyone want a second or does somebody want to make a second one?
I'll second Don's motion.
Jennifer? Yes. Jake?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
All right, we got one down, folks. Next one up, economic development. We've got Bloomfield Main Street. Welch Pharmacy is asking for something and a DC Ag Society is asking, which would be the better. Yeah, 12.5 in that bucket. What is, Tony, do you have any more, what's the community area with the shelter? Where's he's wanting to build something somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, is that across
so-
where the
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
the trailer can?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so, Wells is wanting to put some sort of like maybe gazebo type
Okay.
picnic tables.
Green space.
Yeah, green space out there. And then as far as like the ideas and the different events that Bloomfield Main Street is doing, I personally look at that as those are some of the reasons why people are coming to town and staying in our hotels, so. And then obviously with the Ag Society, you got the fair and the rodeos and everything that they also host out there at the fairgrounds.
Is the city collecting tax going to a county facility? What is that?
It doesn't matter technically according to the rule or the law, because the money that's collected is the event causing people to come and stay in our hotels. So,
I thought just popped into my mind, however,
what's that, Don?
if we're gonna nullify the easement with the Trails Council because it's not on city property,
Mhm.
and we don't give them money because it's not on city property. And then you just raise the issue about giving city money to an entity that's not on city property.
So in economic development, it states the disbursements are open to organizations in Bloomfield. So it doesn't say within the city limits. In Bloomfield that host events, develop projects, maintain sites, or conduct educational efforts that highlight the community and its assets and ultimately attract out-of-town visitors. Funds may not be used for business ventures, debt retirement, or operating expenses. This category is available to all local businesses. So,
We wrote that back in 2013 and you and I were on the council then. So
Just, I mean, I personally think of it like this, and I don't think I'm far off by what Tommy Joe's saying. Most of this money, other than traveling businessmen that come through or a family event or a wedding now and then, most of this is coming from things that we have here. The fair, I'm sure there's people that come here and rent rooms because of the fair, the rodeo, Hairy Nation Days, those, runs that we may have, everything. So just kind of remember that. I mean, if we didn't have those events, we wouldn't have 50,000 to give away here.
No, I agree. The only thing
I will-
the thing I was keying on was, it says in Bloomfield.
Yeah.
Not in Davis County. It says in Bloomfield.
correct.
That's what I was
And-
leading into this, that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking. Is
So-
it, is it that nitpicky where it has to be in Bloomfield, city of, not in the county?
I looked up the state code, our policy just says in Bloomfield. It doesn't say like in Bloomfield city limits. The thing that I will tell you though about the fairgrounds is they are hooked up to our utilities and are annexed in for those. So we are considering that piece. I looked up on the state code and it doesn't say in that section 423A that it has to be in city limits. It really just says it has to promote educational, et
That's what I
cetera.
want to clarify. 'Cause
Yeah.
It does say in Bloomfield, does that mean Bloomfield proper?
Right,
Or
right.
does it mean?
It doesn't
surrounding
say
area?
one way or the other, so
Okay,
open for
okay, that's fine.
interpretation, yeah. Another gray area probably.
Yes, clear as mud, right?
Right, always is.
Okay, I can tell you how I put this one in. So I put $8,000 into Bloomfield Main Street. That gives them almost what they wanted. The 2,500 to Wells's, man, if we're gonna do something on that corner and make it look nice, to me, it's worth that. And then 2,000 towards the DC Ag Society because they're asking for equipment for the 4-H building. And 4-H building, to me, is kids in 4-H. And so I'm leaning that direction to put 2,000 in that spot for them. I know they asked for 8, but we only have 12.5. So that's how I divided that one out.
You're over though, I think.
No, he's at 12.5.
10-5, and you said how much?
Eight,
Eight.
500 and
25 and 2,000.
That's 10,500 and then 2,000?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said 2,500. Okay,
12.5.
yep.
Is that your motion?
And that's my motion.
I'll second that.
I guess I was hoping, I don't know, a little more for the fair, but.
You can make a different motion. We're saying,
You can argue your point,
Yeah,
you know, but then we're taking it away from Bloomfield Main Street and their activities.
Right, no, I get that too.
You know.
They're all good things. I don't disagree with that. It's just, I mean, the fair and Main Street, they both bring in a lot of people.
I kind of looked at it somewhat similar to the way Earl looked at it, and then they rent that building out a lot. And
Oh, you mean the 4-H
4-H
building?
4-H building.
If I was in charge of this project, I would take the rental income from the 4-H building and buy the AV equipment for that building.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how much
That's-
income
that's
comes
what
in
I-
for the
Any-
rental.
Anybody other than?
Bear in mind, we dropped 10,000 in the month of July on utilities in the city of Bloomfield.
I also have a question. So previously we had allotted money to the Davis County Trails a couple years ago and they didn't use it, so it stayed in the pot. One thing I want to bring up about Wells Pharmacy is that lot that he does want to build on, he does not own yet, according to Beacon.
Right.
So in the event that he doesn't purchase it and move forward with it, are you gonna
That's
suggest that it
goes
stays?
To Ag Society if that doesn't happen, is that what you're saying?
I just wanted to bring that up so that, because I hate to allot it and then it not be used again. So either
Well, we
put
could-
that in your motion or if it's not used by a certain, like, because the money has to be used by December 31st of this year. They have to pay for it and then get reimbursed back. So if for some reason he doesn't go through with the purchase or the seller doesn't sell or they can't come up with a price in agreement, then are we leaving the 2,500 in the pot where we, the city, could use it for something for next year? I just wanted to make sure everybody's
Dan, are
transparent.
you doing the audio, visual, no matter if you get the money or not? Or is it really dependent on this money? Because what she said, I do like what she's saying, but Milo might say October 31st, I'm not gonna get it done. You're not gonna get audio visual in time for the fair, or, I mean,
And honestly, I don't believe it's for the fair per se.
Yeah.
You know, we have so many meetings and rentals to
Okay.
whoever, whatever. And the sound is terrible out there. Like, it's just
We're
terrible.
pretty much rented every weekend and it's just about, I'd say at least 50% of the weekdays for meetings and people coming in there for presentation. Because when you step back and look at the big picture, this community doesn't have a community center.
But what Tommy Joe's saying, which I like the idea, if we award this and you don't get it done, what's the timetable in that? I mean, she said it has to be used by December 31st. If he comes December 15th, says, obviously I didn't get the park bill. That's only a couple weeks to turn the money over and they have to use it. So it's kind of one or the other here, you know.
But like the 10,000 that we gave to, allotted to trails.
Yep.
Is that 10,000 still sitting in this pot?
It's part of that 50. We would have only had,
Oh,
well,
the
2
50.
years ago, actually.
Okay.
It was 2 years ago that we didn't spend it. So last year it was still sitting there and we went ahead and spent it. But, just to read kind of what they put with their application for the Ag Society was the building does get used a lot by various individuals, groups and organizations that do draw people locally as well as out of town and out of state. Examples of uses would be product training meetings, wellness clinics, producer group meetings such as Iowa Cattlemen, Organic Valley, real estate auction, obviously the 4-H meeting, award nights, wedding receptions, graduation, and then bingo. So that's why they're asking for the better sound system. So they did kind of explain what they use it for.
So I think we had a motion and a second.
Did you reread the motion?
Yeah. So it will be 8,000, 8,000 for Bloomfield Main Street, 2,500 for Wells Pharmacy, 2,000 for DC Egg Society. And, if Wells doesn't use the 2,500, then that money can go to the Egg Society if that's feasible.
Sounds good. I'll second.
I already said.
Where did that
Oh,
say?
sorry.
Can you put a specific date in there?
By 12, yeah, do you want 12/31?
No, it needs to be before that, because if Wells doesn't use it by a certain date and we're gonna give it to Ag Society, the Ag Society has to spend it by
In
12/31.
September or something like that, or?
Amend that.
I would make that a little bit later in the year. I mean, because I'm sure if we gave Dan $10,000 right now, he can spend it in 48 hours for something fair needs if we do that. Would that be a true statement? Yeah. Yeah. Like noon tomorrow.
But October 1st, I think it's gonna get done the part.
Yeah. October 1st.
I'll put-
I said in the September.
So it'll be if Wells doesn't spend the 2,500 by 10/1/24, then that money will revert over to the
That
Egg
gives them
Society.
2 months if they want to use it or something.
I'll do my second.
Jake,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Josh.
Yes.
Earl.
Yes.
Do have a 3 that, we're almost there. Recreation. We've got DC Little League, Bloomfield Country Club, Nature Center, and DC Trails. Those are the 4 applicants. You have 25,000 or you don't have to give all that.
That's just my clarification. Are we no longer required to give, is the 10,000 off the table now for DC Trails? Or is it?
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. We dispersed it last year and they did use it and we paid engineering for it for their phases.
Okay.
So
So there's 10,000 on this.
is a
year.
new request.
Is a new request. Okay.
Yep, so there's 25 total that you can spend for those 4 entities.
Okay. Well, what I had for my idea on this is, for DC Little League, give them the 7,500. Country Club, 3,000, Whistler Center, 4,500, and 10,000 for the DC Trails. Let's do 25,000.
Would you say, I'm sorry, I was.
I didn't catch that.
7,500 for Little League.
Okay.
3,000 for Country Club,
Right?
4,500 for Whistler Center, and 10,000 for DC Trails. Okay.
I'll second it. Read that one more time again, please, before we vote.
Okay, the motion is for recreation, DC Little League, 7,500, Country Club, 3,000, Nature Center, 4,500, and DC Trails, 10,000.
Thank you.
Jennifer?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Alrighty, thank you guys. Alrighty, moving on. Approve and authorize mayor to sign additional easements for north/west sidewalks.
Okay, there should be, in the mayor's packet, a couple additional easements that didn't get signed in time for the last group. So, you should have a couple in there to be signed, and then we have one more coming from Juan Garcia, his originals in the mail. And we should have one more left for next meeting.
Move to approve the mayor signing those additional easements for the northwest sidewalk project.
Second.
Earl?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Jake?
Yes.
Approve amended minutes, February 1st, 2024 meeting to clarify fiscal year 25 tax levy.
So on the minutes, we put in, the increase, the amount we were gonna increase in the original minutes, and, Tommy Joe and I decided to just add on to that and tell what the actual tax rate would be, just to clarify it a little bit more. So the actual numbers haven't changed, we just added what the.
Clarification.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes. Josh?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Discuss and decide on allowing food truck and sidewalk sales at any farmer's market from May 25th, 2024 through October 5th, 2024, 9 a.m. to noon.
That's easy. Motion to approve.
Second.
Hey, Jennifer? Yes. Josh?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Earl?
Yes.
Discuss and decide on allowing food trucks during Hairy Nation Days, June 22nd, and Fall Festival, September 21st.
Will you have to set up each day or stay in?
Just Monday.
Just one.
Yeah, they set up in the, well, for Hairy Nation Days, they might set up the night before just because there's more. But it's within the 24 hours, and most of the time it's when we have the street closed, which I'll come and ask for that.
Sure. Motion to approve.
Second.
Earl?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes.
Authorize the mayor to sign the engineering agreement for the IOOF North Road.
So this is gonna be a new service agreement. We're having French Reniker do the engineering on the North Road. We're gonna turn that to concrete over a 2-year period with the cemetery funds. So we would like for you to allow French Reniker to engineer that.
Motion to approve.
Second. Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes.
Approve Class B retail alcohol license for Family Dollar.
Motion to approve.
Second. Don?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yeah. Earl?
No.
Approve Class C retail alcohol license for Tequila Grill Bloomfield LLC.
Motion to approve.
Second. Jake?
Yes.
Don?
Yes.
Earl?
No.
Josh?
Yes.
Jennifer? Yes.
Discuss and decide on amending vacation policy.
So, this past week, I sent you guys out a copy of what our vacation policy states in the handbook, and a couple employees have came to me and asked that I bring to council a couple suggestions of maybe amending it. Right now, if they do not use their vacation by their anniversary date, if you don't use it, you lose it. With the exception of, I do have the authority to grant a carryover. I checked with Sandy, our previous clerk, just to see, is there, have we done this before or not in the past? Because one of them stated, well, there was a time where we could carry over some vacation. And they've also paid out vacation. So I had an employee come to me and said that it's just really hard for them right now to take some vacation, and they're in a spot where they could use a little extra money. And prior to this, we had a provision in there that they could cash up to 1 week of vacation extra on their paycheck. And they asked if we could ask the council if we would consider putting that back in there. In the event that they would want to cash up to 1 week, or carry over 1 week. So we have, obviously, salaried employees don't have comp or any overtime. And some of our longer term employees get 5 and 6 weeks vacation. And, one of them said, I'd rather be at work. It's really busy right now for me, and I'm not gonna have time to cut it. And so rather than lose it, they would like to either carry it over or cash it out. So, I did send a request just to make sure, like, is this okay or legit? I want to make sure that there wasn't something that, you know, we don't approve something that we shouldn't, which I do believe Gayla's on the phone if she wants to provide, any input. But I do need to at least change in the vacation. It says after 6 months, you get 5 working days, 10 working days, 15, 20, and 25. I'm going to change that to hours because our police department does work more than hours in a day than the rest of us typically. So I think we need to change that to, 40 hours, 80 hours, et cetera, so that there's no more gray area there. But, like I said, I spoke to 3 different people that came in, and asked for a confidential conversation. Some have a couple things going on in their personal life that they just kind of need the money and they'd rather work. Now, on a budget standpoint, if you guys do choose to either, let them cash it out, like if they have 3 weeks and they want to keep 2 and cash 1, I personally would like for you to put a cap on it for budget purposes so that, we're not owing people thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't personally see an issue with 1 week because on average that's $1,000, and then after taxes come out, you're probably looking at like 700. So it's not going to make or break the city if they choose to do that. If they'd rather be at work, then I'm not going to complain that way either. Otherwise, kind of what we had talked through, we talked through also, do we change it to January to December? I personally don't like that just because I don't want everybody saving it and then everybody gone at Christmas and we got snowstorms and Christmas and we have no staff. So I personally told them that, I wouldn't throw out any names, obviously, who might be struggling financially and stuff, but that I would bring it to you and ask you if you have any issue with adding that they can roll over up to 40 hours of vacation, and or cash out up to 40.
All of this is guided by, controlled by language in the employee handbook, I assume, as opposed to being
Yes,
controlled by ordinances.
right,
Okay. So
Nothing's
it's
in an
employee
ordinance.
handbook language.
right. And in the employee handbook, it says any extension must be made in writing, which I do make them fill out a form if they, like, for example, I did carry over some vacation for Zach, because we needed him and could not afford to not have him with the chief being out prior. So we carried it over. There's gonna be times I think that, like our streets department, we really don't want them to be off during winter if we can help it. But then some of them have anniversary dates and, January, February, March, and they don't want to use it right away, like in the summer and then the fall, and then not have any should something happen. So then they're holding on to a little bit. They're using it through the, holidays and whatnot, but then they're hanging on to it. And then it comes, whatever season. And it's like, oh, wait, now I got 4 days left.
I got stuck in that boat one time with the week that I was holding on to, and then we got some bad weather when I was a mechanic and stuff was broke down, so I had to ask for a 30-day extension, and then, of course, my anniversary is November, so it just got worse. And then me and Sandy ended up having to ask to get it paid out for me. It wasn't the way to use it.
Every place I've ever worked, carrying over a week is typical. Is there a reason why we wouldn't do that on the budget? I mean,
No, I don't
Okay.
think there is. I know the hourly people can carry over a week of comp time. And the comp is paid, according to overtime, but they would also like us to consider letting them also carry over a week of vacation.
Yeah, and that's why I said I mean, I know I haven't worked in a public, training, but every place I've ever worked, you could carry over.
Yeah,
one
me
week.
too. Yeah, me too. So,
Let's say if we do this, that the carryover, I think is not, is no brainer.
Right, that's what that's what I was
But I would
thinking.
say the verbiage should be something along the line of 40 hours, one time per year.
Right.
So they're not trying to, I don't know if they would try to do
Sure.
that, but it's a one time.
Well,
per
it'd just be
year.
carrying over on your anniversary when it would.
Yeah, I'm talking about the payout.
oh, the
Oh,
payout,
the
yeah.
payout. I thought you were talking about carrying.
Yeah, carryovers, I
Okay,
don't think that's a big deal,
okay.
but the payout.
You can pay out up to
up to
40 hours
One time
once
per year.
per year. Okay.
And you said that's.
That is-
Any-
That's for employment year or calendar year?
Their employment year.
Employment.
Anniversary day.
For the reason that Ty just said on the calendar year, we don't let people citywide at the end of the year.
Right, yeah. Take 2 weeks off of Christmas.
Yes.
But they might say, you know what, I got 5 weeks of vacation and it's Christmas and I could use an extra $500. Just cash one out. Now I only have 4. Something like
I think that's doing
So
our people
cash in-
correct and doing
Yeah.
the right.
It would it matter if they cashed one and carried over one, or is that,
it's not gonna matter budget wise, because we gotta pay it out either way.
okay?
And if it's in their bank and they should quit or retire, we're gonna pay it out either way. Yeah.
It's on our book either way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
That is my motion, by the way.
There you
What-
second, Jake.
Got all that, Kyle?
By the way, Gayla's
Yes, Gayla.
listening,
Yeah.
and the only question I had was whether or not we had issues with the Public Employment Relations Act, and I hadn't had a chance to look at 20.9, but we do not have any concerns that we would have to bargain with the union on this, so no issues on my end.
Thank you.
Do I need to amend it and say that's my motion pending review of 20.9?
I think she just checked it out for you.
Can you live with that, Tommy Joe?
No, I did it while we've been on the line.
You're good.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're good to go then. Then my motion stands then.
What's that, Don?
Can you live with that motion?
So the motion is to pay
I'm good
out.
with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Pay out up to 40 hours once a year per anniversary date. And carryover,
And
And they had the right to carry.
and the right to carry over 40 hours if they so
Yeah.
choose.
One or the other or both.
Right.
I think we're second.
Yeah, Earl second.
I've got Jake and Earl. Jennifer? Yes. Jake,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Josh,
Yes.
and Earl.
Yes.
Discuss nullifying the easement with the Trails Council Carr Street phase.
So, I believe in the last grant that the trails applied for, we had signed, the city had authorized the mayor to sign an easement. And with this next phase, they're not going to be on city property. And so there really is no need for the easement. So they're asking us if we can get approval to nullify the current one because it doesn't concern us anymore.
Actually, we don't need to do that. Although we could enter into an agreement that we will terminate the easement. I mean, at this point, they have the rights. So they can grant those back to us just by themselves without us doing anything. Or we can say that we're going to enter into a written agreement to terminate. Under either set of circumstances, it has to be recorded with the recorder in order for that bag of rights to come back to us.
Gayla, could the Trails Council just send the city council a letter requesting a termination of that agreement?
No, there'll have to be a written document recorded that's notarized with representatives. The trail, like I said, the Trails Council could just do that unilaterally. To
It's my
say we're
understanding,
conveying all our rights back to the city.
yeah, it's my understanding Rick Lynch is typing something up on behalf of the trails.
So we don't need to do it.
We don't need to do anything.
Okay. Moving on.
Well,
Well, you'll have to, when that gets presented,
yeah.
then it'll come back to the table and you'll have to, right?
yeah,
All
I
right.
don't know that we would have to. It depends on how Rick structures it, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait till that comes to approve. Approve ICAP insurance renewal in the amount of $169,647 for annual renewal for April 1st, 2024 to March 31st, 2025.
How much of an increase is it?
30%.
Yeah,
30% increase.
yeah,
Right across the board
for everybody.
for all the cities.
Motion to approve.
Second.
John,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Josh,
Yeah.
Earl,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes.
Approve invoice to Leffler Dirt Works in the amount of $15,564.02 for Howard Walnut Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
Earl.
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Josh,
Yeah.
Jake,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Approve invoice to French Rent-A-Car in the amount of $12,100 for the north/west sidewalk.
Motion to approve.
We need to make him sweat just a little.
Yes, he was squirming pretty good.
Second.
Okay, John,
Yes.
Jake,
Yes.
Jennifer. Yes. Josh.
Yeah.
Earl.
Yes.
Public comments tonight? Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of going back to the light post. My question is, I mean, they gave some to the county and some to the hospital. Is it okay for the city to give away city items without an auction or just, I mean, I think it's good. I mean, the county probably can use them because I think their post might be the same. But I don't have a problem with the hospital. I mean, as taxpayers,
Do you used to have options for that stuff?
So it's my understanding if there's something worth value of selling, we've been putting them on Purple Wave. If there is something that is of no value, obviously our job is to try to collect the most money that we can out of something. Yeah, it's my understanding, the reason why they were given to the county was that the courtyard, they did choose not to upgrade like we are to match us. And with those poles being, not being made or generated anymore, those specific ones, then the parts and stuff are gonna be harder to get, which is why Public Works had decided to give them to the county. If you need parts, here's what's left, because you can't get them anymore. I can tell you that the new poles are worth, or the cost is only 3,000 versus 7. And then, I'm not sure what the hospital itself, because I wasn't personally a part of giving them away, but as far as standard practice goes, if we can sell something, yes, we would like to sell it. Sometimes there is gonna be a situation where we may network with somebody to give away. But in the event that we could make money on it, then we would make the call to put it on Purple Wave, like the cars and the different other pieces of equipment that we could generate funds from.
Kayla, are you still there?
I am, and we can give things to other governmental entities without any issue.
Is the hospital classified as a governmental entity?
Yes.
I would say yes, it is.
Okay, thanks.
County support. For the record, they acquired their poles from the county, not from us. Darren Ham's in contact with the county.
We gave all of ours to the county, county gave some to the hospital.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Thanks for that clarification.
Okay, so, I mean, that's okay, their government, does the council participate in making the decision of what can be given away and what might need to go to auction? Or is that a
Not
decision
always.
of one or two people?
Not always.
Not always is it. Okay, any other public comments? Okay. Tommy Joe?
The only thing I have, two things, budget obviously is coming to an end. Once we have, our meeting on the 28th with the max tax rate meeting, then, I can go in and enter everything into the state website. And Cindy Kendall will be reviewing all of that as well as the transfers that we may or may not have to do this coming year. So, don't forget the meeting is at 6:30 at City Hall next time on the 28th. 6:30.
And then here's another.
No, City Hall, both meetings.
Oh, both.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the second thing is, we've been working together in the office to collect on bad debt. I have Alicia and Rihanna working through sending out letters to people who still owe us. Most of them are final bills, not all. Some people got disconnected and haven't paid us, but there's a lot of final bills. People move and then they forget to pay their last bill. So we've generated letters. We're mailing them out to the forwarding address that they gave us, and we are trying to collect on some bad debt. So there will also be some, we might use the city of Bloomfield information to get in touch with people if we can't by mail, to try to remind them that they do have an outstanding balance that's due. So reminder to the citizens, if you move, to please come to City Hall and pay your last bill.
I did.
Yep.
Rusty,
I don't have anything.
all right. Is there any update from Tammy? She's not here.
Nope,
No.
she didn't have anything
Okay.
tonight.
Council updates? Okay, I do not have any updates.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Earl,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Jake,
Yeah.
Josh,
Yeah.
Jennifer.
We know that we got it, but we don't know how much yet because we asked for it.
Let me look at my email to see if I can get that one out.
Thought maybe there
Don't
might.
tell her.